Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I think you guys can see we finally got the play mat all sorted out, all cleaned out, water damage negligible, which just shows the care in which this was made. Some good neoprene here. Even was able to throw it through the wash cycle and didn't have any color fade, which is pretty cool. But I do have another deck for you guys today. And this one does come with a few ruined cards, so we're going digital. I was requested a generic like light and darkness deck, and I was like, I don't have enough of the cards from Toon Chaos, so how could I accomplish this and make this fun? Well, guys, I hope that you guys like Thunder Dragons. Obviously you do, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on it today. So let's just go ahead and get you guys my deck list. I'll show you the breakdown real quick. As you guys could probably guess from the two normal monsters, yeah, it's going to have Dragoon in it, but whatever. We're going to have a total of 25 monsters and 15 spells, 2 fusions, and 13 links going into today's build. So that's very cool. Let's start off with our list. We are going to be using 3 copies, Allure of Darkness, and there goes my focus like every other time. Let's kind of give that a second to come back. Okay, we're just going to push through. There it is. We got 3 Aloof Lupine because it's actually a great starter for us. We're going to be using 1 copy Arch Nemesis Eschados because it's actually really good, guys. We are going to be using the 1 copy Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, 2 copies Chaos Dragon Levineer, 1 Chaos Space, 3 Beckoning Beasts, 3 Dark Beckoning Beasts, sorry. This and the opening of the Spirit Gates are the cards I'm actually missing to physically show this one. Otherwise, this would have been live cards today. We are running the single Dark Magician. I do fancy running Dark Ruler No More in triple here. Single Foolish Burial, 3 of the opening of the Spirit Gates, single Red Eyes Black Dragon, single Red Eyes Fusion, 2 copies The Melody of Awakening Dragon. I'll show you that here in a minute. 3 Thunder Dragons, the OG monster. 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion. 3 copies Thunder Dark. 1 copy Dragon Hawk. 2 copies Matrix. 3 copies Roar. And rounded out with that single copy White Dragon Wyver Burster. And that's going to be your 40-card main deck. We move over to the extra deck real quick. We are running Appaloosa at 1. We are running Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, RIP, at 1. So right now I would probably be changing that to another tech card here. And there are plenty that you can use, honestly. The 1 Boral Sword, the 1 copy Curious, the 1 copy IP Masquerena, 1 each Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn, single Link Karibo, single Predaplant Vert Anaconda, single Dragoon, single Anima, single Striker Dragon, single Thunder Dragon Titan, and RIP Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So I actually have 2 zones in the extra deck that I could change. And one thing that I could just quickly do for that is I do have Instant Fusion, so I could toss one of those in the main. And we could actually put Millennium Eyes Restrict and Thousand Eyes Restrict in here for the choice play on which way you're going to break with that. And then, of course, depending on how your opponent's board is set up, you can then link into the Anima off of that and actually further your play. So that's cool. Again, if you don't have the Dragoon set up, there's no real reason to be playing Vert Anaconda, except it does kind of come up with Thunder Dragon. Another thing we could do is we could increase the amount of Thunder Dragon Fusions and Titans and offset that way. So there's a couple ways to budget your way out of this one. It doesn't have to be a whole roster of all these heavy-hitting cards. Just 1 second while I get some water. And that's the deck list. So if that is all that you guys came here for, I'm going to scroll slowly back through this while I'm talking. This way you guys can maybe write this down or do notes for anybody who's actually doing physical hard copies. This way you guys get the appropriate ratios. We'll start at the bottom here. And seriously, if the list is what you guys came here for, I'd like to thank you guys for stopping by and enjoying the deck list with me. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was fairly consistent. Um, but yeah, if you liked it, maybe give us a subscription if you haven't already. If you have, thank you. Every last one is going to help build. Um, and you guys just have a great day. For everybody else, we're going to go over each individual card. We're probably not going to go over all of them because, like, there's a couple cards now, like Allure of Darkness. I think you guys know what Allure of Darkness is. So I'm going to start with the Aloof Lupine here real quick. When this card is normal summoned, you can banish one monster from your hand, banish a monster from the deck with the same type as that monster. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, target one of your banished monsters, add that to your hand using each effect only once per turn. And I think you guys know that Thunder Dragons get effects when they're banished, so what we're really saying here is you play this and start off by getting 2 effects. And then, of course, if it gets destroyed, go ahead and start recycling the banish pile at your leisure. One of the cool tech cards here is the Ashados. It is a light dragon, which is important. Between this and Levianeer, these are going to be our targets for melodies. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from the hand by banishing 3 monsters with different types from the graveyard and or face up on the field. And even though all the Thunder Dragons are thunder, it's very easy to see how we might be able to do this and set this up faster. Cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is actually kind of amazing. You can declare one monster type on the field, destroy all monsters on the field with that type, also until the end of the next turn. Neither player can special summon monsters with that type. You can only use this effect once per turn. Can we talk about how game-breaking this card can be? Like, if you're playing against anybody who plays a deck that really does revolve around a single type, maybe you end up against counter fairies somehow and you do this. You go up against, any type of like zombie world deck. There's so many decks that just revolve around all warriors or all machines, especially with, Cyber Dragon being like huge, Cyber Dark Dragon being huge, Dragon Link, not as huge now, but this definitely would have brought some fire to that meta last season. It's just fantastic. And the fact that it locks both players out of it, hopefully you're not playing just that. But if you are, so be it. You do get to lock your opponent out of summoning those. Again, you lock yourself out too, but it's kind of a risk versus reward situation, and that's why we're only running the single. We'll back out of that real quick and lose my place, obviously. So just real quick, let's find it again. And right now, we know that we're gonna have dragons, spellcaster. We got a Aloof Lupine on beast, and we're gonna have some fiends and thunder. So it's not going to be terribly difficult to pull off. Collapse Serpent, again, banish one of the opposite attributes. So banish one light, play it. And then when it goes from field to discard, right? If this is sent from field to graveyard, you can add Wyver Burster from deck to hand. And then, of course, Wyver Burster is going to be the exact opposite. Since it's light, you're going to banish a dark. Special summon it when it leaves the field. You can go for Collapse Serpent. Very good extension plan, which is probably why they both got limited to 1. Chaos Dragon Levianeer actually has the ability to rip into any of its 3 effects in this deck, since we are playing a multitude of light and dark. It cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from the hand by banishing 3 light and or darks from the graveyard. When special summoned this way, activate this effect. Apply the following effect based on the attributes of the monsters banished for the summon. Also, this card cannot attack the remainder of this turn. And those effects are, if they were all light, you could special summon 1 from your graveyard in defense. If they were all dark, shuffle a random card from your opponent's hand back into their deck. If both light and dark, more often than not is what was going to happen here, destroy up to 2 cards on the field. So either way, we get to press some advantage. We either get to build our board, we get to tear apart their hand, which might be their last hand trap, and put them in a worse position, or we can start breaking the board while building, again, our own board. So good card, great card, run 2. Chaos Space, again, I only own the 1, so I'm only running a single. But the way that this one works is send a light or dark from the hand to the graveyard, add a light or dark that cannot be normal summoned or set from the deck with a level between 4 and 8. with a different attribute than the monster that you sent. You can banish this card from the graveyard, target one of your banished light and or dark monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set. Place that monster on the bottom of the deck, then draw one card, using each effect only once per turn, which is fantastic. It allows some cycling. Again, with our Thunder Dragons, we're going to be able to peel most of them back out of the deck when we want to. It's just a great utility card, and any deck that's really going to run any level of real chaos is going to love it. We are using the Dark Beckoning Beast, and part of this is to help us build board. So ignore all of the first portion of the text, because the only reason we're playing this is when this is normal summoned, you can add a card that specifically lists any of the Sacred Beasts from your deck to your hand except Dark Beckoning Beast. You can only use this effect once per turn. During your main phase, you can you can normal summon one fiend with 0/0 in addition to your normal summoner set. The real goal here is we want to start with one. We want to be able to get the gate. We want to go into the second one. And that's going to give us 2 normal summons and start us with building the board. And again, that's going to be great for links. Again, we got the Dark Magician in here because Dragoon says so. Dark Ruler No More, great card for going second, and I know a lot of decks really aren't built for going second anymore. This card makes just every deck able to negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn, and also for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, your opponent takes no damage. Neither player can activate monster effects in response to this card's activation, strictly spell traps to counter or respond, and the real reasoning here is we don't care about damaging them this turn. We're trying to break a board. That is the whole purpose of this card. This card lets you break the board, and that is what you need to be focused on the turn you play this. Really, nothing else. You do have the Foolish Burial, send a monster from the deck to the discard. Opening the gates, again, when this is activated, add one Sacred Beast monster or a card that's, one monster that specifically lists any of those in the text from deck to hand. And again, that's really all we need. You might be able to get some play out of the second effect. Once per turn, you can discard a card, special summon a fiend with 0/0 from the graveyard. Once per turn, if you control a level 10, you can add a continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand, activating only one of these per turn. I don't think we played any other continuous spells, so nothing really doing there. And again, we don't really run level 10, so unless Dragoon is somehow a level 10, which he's not. Thunder Dragon Titan could let you recycle that. Again, not super sure why you would. But the play's there. It's really just to build the board, like I said. You do have the Red Eyes Dragon and the Red Eyes Fusion again. This is to go into Dragoon. The Melody of Awakening Dragon again. We're going to be able to discard one card from our hand, add up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 plus attack and 2,500 or less defense from deck to hand. This is going to let us get into either our Levianeer, or again, this is how you can get into a Shados, because a Shados is a light dragon. And it again is basic Blue Eyes, 3,000 by 25. So that's fairly cool. Let's get into the Thunder Dragon portion, and I think the rest will start to make sense. So we got our OG boy Thunder Dragon here. You can discard this card, add up to 2 Thunder Dragon cards from the deck to the hand, and it must be Thunder Dragon, not Thunder Dragon Dark or Duo or any of that. Literally, you're pulling for the same copies. So that's why it doesn't say card afterward. It just says Thunder Dragon in quotes. This is good card, great card. This is going to help you build the discard pile when you need it. You do run the single fusion in this variant again. I might have to run more moving forward, since I do have some loss in this deck. This allows you to fusion summon 1 Thunder Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among your cards on the field, graveyard, and your face-up banished. So that's pretty fantastic. It's going to help you recycle back into the deck. During the main phase, except the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this from the graveyard, add 1 Thunder monster from your deck to your hand, using each effect only once per turn. Again, we didn't run a whole lot of fusions in the extra deck. You could change this to budget the deck down. You just got to remember, I'm pretty sure Colossus is still banned. So you're looking at just Titans and OG Thunder Dragon, which is, again, 110% fine. And we do see the recursion effects. So that is also fantastic. Real quick, we're going to go over Dark. Dark is a 5-star. He has a quick effect. You can discard this card to add 1 Thunder Dragon Dark from your deck to your hand. If this card is banished or sent from field to graveyard, you can add 1 Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand, except same name. You can only use 1 Thunder Dark effect per turn and only 1 set turn. So sort of like Shaddoll's, where they are either or, and then once per turn, the Thunder Dragons are going to work very similar. But again, remember, with Aloof Lupine, we can go ahead and get this effect because we could banish this one in our hand. And honestly, we couldn't discard it, do that, and then do the other thing. Because again, it's only 1 and once per turn. But that would be another way to build your graveyard if you didn't need that play then. So this is very cool. This allows us to tutor just any of our Thunder Dragon cards, which is why you need to maximize this one. Next up after Dark would be Hawk. And Hawk is another one of those, again, since I'd be reforming the main deck because we would be dropping Dragoons to make this more budget-friendly. Dragon Hawk is very free to move up. And in this effect is you can discard this card, special summon one of your Thunder Dragon monsters that is banished or in the graveyard, except Hawk. And if this card is banished or sent from field to grave, shuffle any number of cards from your hand into the deck, drawing the same number of cards. Sort of like, I wanted to say Reload real quick, but the real card is Magical Mallet. And again, 1 effect per turn, once per turn. Honestly, I think the discard effect is better and very achievable once you have Thunder Dark already in your hand, because you could then cycle for that. We are running 2 Matrix real quick. And this is really how we get our Link 1, level 1 plays for our Relinquished Anima and our Link Karibo. Quick effect, we can discard this and target a Thunder monster we control and give it an extra 500 attack, sort of like a hand trap, battle trap deal. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Thunder Dragon Matrix from deck to hand, using only 1 of these per turn and only 1 set turn. Honestly, 3 was too many. 1 just doesn't seem to play its own effect. 2 is good. 2 is understandable. And again, on 2, what you could do is you could just play it real quick, link, and then vacuum up a card with your Link Karibo. Or, not your Link Karibo, holy crud. The Relinquished Anima. Sorry, I'm a little tired. We are running Thunder Dragon Roar. We did maximize this one out to 3. You can discard this card, add to your hand 1 of your Thunder Dragon cards that is banished or in the graveyard, except same name. And again, this allows us to start cycling our cards more rapidly. And this also lets you get back your Thunder Dragon Fusion. Very important thing to think about. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Thunder Dragon monster from your deck in defense position, returning it to the hand during the end phase. Again, a really cool thing that you could do here is this is a nice way to put Matrix on the field. Then you could link Matrix off or build a link board here. Again, 1 effect and only once per turn. Real quick, that should put us at Wyver Burster. Again, we kind of already went over that. So the main deck is actually fairly straightforward. And again, we can just banish them a bunch of different ways. And again, with our Chaos cards. So it's very important. Even the Allure of Darkness on the dark ones, it's basically draw 2, get effect. So we curb the costs and turn them into benefits. And then our extra deck is also very, very straightforward. Again, Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess. Thank you, Luna. That's my kitty. Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess, very useful for blocking monster effects. And again, 2+ monsters. I do believe it's non-tokens. Yep, non-tokens, different names. Attack becomes 800 times link material used for it, and once per chain when an opponent monster activates an effect. You can make this card lose 800 attack, and if you do, negate the activation. Now, the wording here is exactly 800, And I think they're taking into effect that there are some field spells that would maybe let you gain some power. And technically, you could lose 800, still zero the account. So they want to make sure that the transaction is exactly 8, so that you're not getting a partial payment on that negate. Again, Blackluster Soldier, he was just really cool while I had him. Feel free to place anything else you'd like there. Boral Sword, again, I just don't have an access code talker. If I did, I might actually play both. They're good in different situations. Let's talk Curious real quick. So 3 monsters, same attribute, different types. I believe this is easier on the dark side because we've got the Dark Dragon, the Aloof Lupine, and then the Dark Thunders. If this face-up card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, while its owner controls it, you can target 1 card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Use each of the following effects once per turn. If this is link summoned, you can send 1 card from deck to graveyard, which is good to help build the discard pile for the chaos. And if a card or cards is sent from the deck to the graveyard by an effect, send the top 3 from deck to graveyard. Again, this is really here to build the discard pile for you guys. No other real reasons. IP Masquerena doing a great job of letting us play links on our opponent's turn. And again, with that whole dark theory, we can use this as one of the darks. We do have Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn. Cerberus for the special summon monsters, Phoenix for the back row, and Unicorn to seal any card into the deck at the cost of 1 card from hand. Link Karibo uses a level 1 monster. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can contribute this card, change that monster's attack to 0. The attacking monster, of course. When this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you contribute a level 1 monster, special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Again, Matrix sort of helps out with this play a lot. Verd Anaconda, again, we can generate 2 cards very rapidly. And this will allow us to then be able to pay the 2,000 life points, send a fusion or polymerization normal quick play from deck to the discard. This effect becomes the rest of that card's effect. And then after this, you cannot special summon monsters for the remainder of the turn, which is how we get around the rulings and wording on the Red Eyes fusion. Because again, we don't need to worry about the activation cost when we're using the effect of the card. And again, this is what's going to allow us to go into Dragoon and start playing some control. Relinquished Anima, again, 1 level 1, accept a token. You can target a face-up monster this card points to. Note that it's pointing towards the opponent, or you can see it better here, actually. And what this is going to do is equip that monster to this card, maximum of 1. You can only use this effect once per turn, and this card gains attack equal to the equipped monsters. Again, it would probably gain defense if links had defense, but they don't, so silly. I do have a copy of Striker Dragon in here, and it's just to put more bodies in the discard pile. No, we're not playing boot launch sector or boot sector launch, and we are not going to be targeting anything else to play rockets. It's just here, it's just a body, and now that it's limited to 1, it should be fairly easy to get a hold of. If you don't have this, or you don't have the opportunity to use this card, I'm sure there are, again, other substitutions that can be made. Play another card of your own choice here. I use it to get rid of the Wyver Burster or the Collapse Serpent and try to build board for a bigger link. Again, not playing the Rocket Field spell, so no need to worry about the main effect. We do have the single Titan, and again, I'm probably going to run 2 or 3 and up my fusion spells. This requires 3 Thunder Dragon monsters. You'll notice this time it says monsters while being the portion in quotes. That's like saying it's the archetype this time. Must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by banishing a Thunder monster from your hand and 1 that you control, except a Titan. In that case, you do not use a polymerization. When a Thunder Dragon monster's effect is activated in the hand, even during the damage step, you can destroy 1 card on the field. If this card will be destroyed by card effect, you can also choose to banish 2 cards from your graveyard instead. Now, one cool thing about Titan is we can abuse this with the original Thunder Dragon. I'm going to skip back over there real quick because we're not going to go over Underworld Goddess, or maybe we will. The wording here, you can discard this card, add up to 2 Thunder Dragon from the deck to the hand. And realistically, you can choose to pitch 1 to grab 1, to pitch 1 to grab 1. we can actually drag the effect out. And then if you were using, I think it was the Fusion now, this allows you to put one back into your deck. Nope. You got to get the one that does the back to the deck. You can continue that and keep breaking a board using the Titan. And then last up, the Underworld Goddess was just my way of trying to out a big monster on the opponent's side. Again, this is a free space from now on. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Again, Link 5, not terribly hard to make, especially if you have IP Masquerena. The effect here lets you use one of your opponent's monsters. It just needs to be 4 or more effect monsters. And again, if you have an IP Masquerena, that's 2. Your opponent's is another one. You just need 2 more monsters on your side of the field. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. So, a couple of things that you guys can mod out. You guys could definitely take out the Dragoons. You guys could increase the firepower of the Thunder Dragons themselves, and of course the Fusion spell. And then maybe even toss in the original twin-headed Thunder Dragon Fusion monster. Did I throw him in the extra? No. So that is the deck profile today. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it. I realize I ran a little longer than I usually do. I blame technical difficulties. But either way, I just have one favor to ask of you guys, and that is for you guys to have a great day. I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.